Hello everyone, this is Monali and I welcome you all with a very big heart. In today's lesson, I'm going to be helping you understand about microorganisms. Today, we'll be looking at bacteria and algae also one by one. So let's get started. Children, Antoni Van Leeuwenhoek, a Dutch lens maker, was the first to observe some tiny organisms in a drop of water with the help of a simple microscope which he had made. He named these organisms as animalcules, which are now known as microorganisms. So, this was how microorganisms discovered. Microorganisms can be defined as organisms which can be seen only with the help of a microscope. It means they are too tiny to be seen through our naked eyes. A microscope is an instrument which is actually a special instrument which makes an enlarged image of a very small object and helps us to have its detailed view. There are innumerable varieties of microorganisms in soil, water, air, decaying substances, and even inside the bodies of living organisms. They are diverse in size, shape, difference of nutrition, and of course habitat. The study of microorganisms is called as microbiology, and the people who study microorganisms are called as microbiologists. Let's see types of microorganisms. Microorganisms can be categorized into 5 major groups as bacteria, algae, protozoa, fungus, and viruses. In this video, we are going to cover bacteria and algae. Bacteria, which is called as bacterium in singular, are the smallest, the oldest, and the simplest known unicellular organisms which may measure 0.2 to 10 micrometer in length. They are probably the first living organisms to inhabit this earth. They can survive in almost all living conditions. Location of bacteria. They are found everywhere in soil, water, air, sewage, snow, hot springs, and so on. You will be surprised to know that some of these bacteria may live in alimentary canal of animals, including man. Most bacteria are heterotrophs and may lead a saprophytic and parasitic existence. Some are commensals, which live in a host body and benefit from it without harming or helping the host. Let's see structure of a typical bacterial cell taken by an electron microscope. Children, each individual bacterium is rather a simple cell. It contains the living substance, protoplasm, surrounded by a non-living stiff cell wall. The cell wall is made of peptidoglycan and not of cellulose as in the plant cells. A thin cell membrane lies immediately beneath the cell wall and surrounds the cytoplasm. There is no well-defined nucleus, but chromatin material is present in the central region. This chromatin material is in the form of a single circle and is not enclosed in a nuclear membrane, but is attached to the cell membrane at some point. The cytoplasm contains vacuoles, granules, and in very few cases some green pigment as well. Sometimes a slimy protective layer called capsule is present outside the cell wall. Types of bacteria. Shape-wise, bacteria are usually of 4 types. Spherical shaped bacteria are called as cocci. Rod shaped bacteria are called as bacilli. Spiral or twisted bacteria are called as spirilla, and comma shaped bacteria are called as vibrio. You can have a look at these different types of bacteria. Some bacteria are useful while some are very harmful and can cause diseases when enter in our body, such as cholera and typhoid. Later in separate video lesson, we'll be having look at importance of microorganisms, where we can see the usefulness of certain bacteria and algae. Reproduction in bacteria. Bacteria reproduce by cell division, where the single cell gives rise to 2 cells. Although their lifespan is just 15 to 20 minutes, they multiply so rapidly that one bacterium can give rise to millions of bacteria just within 24 hours under favorable environment. Ideally, bacteria thrive in moisture and a temperature of 32 to 37 degrees C. Some bacteria survive in adverse conditions by forming a spore or a cyst, which is a protective coating actually. When the environment improves, they become to life again and begin multiplying, as you can see in this diagram. Such spores are usually the resting stages which can withstand the unfavorable conditions. Let's have a discuss on another microorganisms called as algae. Most algae, singular alga, except some marine varieties, are microorganisms. Algae may be unicellular or multicellular. Some join each other to form filaments and some have branches. Both the unicellular and multicellular forms may live as individuals or in colonies. Algae live mostly in an aquatic environment, floating on the water. Some live on the bark of the trees and some on moist soil and rocks. Many have a symbiotic relationship with other organisms, such as you must have read about lichen, which is an association of an alga and a fungus. Let's see types of algae. Children, there are about 15,000 species of algae. They are very diverse in shape and size. Algae are considered autotrophs as all of them contain chlorophyll. On the basis of the pigments found in their cells, they can be classified as follows. Number 1. Blue-green algae. These have a blue pigment along with chlorophyll. They are also known as cyanobacteria. Number 2. Green algae. These algae contain mainly chlorophyll. Number 3. brown algae. These have brown pigments in addition to chlorophyll. Number 4, red algae. These contain red pigments along with the chlorophyll. Let's see few examples of algae. Unicellular forms. Examples are Chlamydomonas, diatoms, and chlorella. Chlamydomonas is actually a green alga. The cell may be oval, spherical, or pear-shaped. The top of the cell bears two flagella used for swimming, and the lower half contains a large cup-shaped chloroplast. Chlamydomonas lives only in fresh water, particularly ponds, ditches, or stagnant water bodies. Diatoms. These are found both in fresh water and in the sea. They float freely on water, and the cell has no flagella or cilia for swimming. Chlorella. These two is a green freshwater alga, but the cell does not have flagella at all. The cell is oval and most of it is occupied by a cup-shaped chloroplast. Chlorella may live as an individual or in groups. It contains lots of proteins, fats, vitamins, and minerals. And for this reason, it is cultivated widely for use as food supplement. Multicellular forms. A common example is Spirogyra, which is a green alga and made of a large number of cylindrical cells, which join together in a chain to form a filament. Spirogyra filaments clump together in masses and float freely over ponds or stagnant water. Its filament is covered by a slimy substance. The chloroplasts are ribbon-shaped and arranged in a spiral band. The nucleus lies suspended in the cell, held by two delicate threads. In colonial forms, we can have an example of Volvox. Volvox is a green freshwater alga which lives in colonies in ponds or pools of water. The outer surface of the sphere is formed by small cells which bear two cilia each. These cells enable the colony to swim but cannot divide. Within the sphere lie smaller cells that can reproduce. Thus, the two types of cells live in a colony for mutual benefit. Though the cells in the colony do not join each other, as in Spirogyra, they are connected by fine gelatinous strands secreted by them. So children, we have come to the end of this video lesson. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next lesson along with the other types of microorganisms. Till then, take care and God bless.